us. You got all of it. No, you got all of it. You got all of it. Go ahead. Ooh, something goes over me. It's all these rules when you get close to me. It's like too much to describe. Yet it's enough for 2 lives, and I can never stand I love it, but at least I'm gonna try 4 times.
Good morning, KSS students and faculty. My name is Harry Tall,
I'm Harry Short.
and we are going to bring to you your latest and greatest news. So let's get started and talk about a student that took a trip of a lifetime
Some senior plans and memories.
and some staff advice that can go out to us seniors. So let's get there.
All right, senior reporter Wyatt Melbestead here with.
Brady Statham.
All right, so we've heard that you ended up going to a Wild game and got to meet some of the players there. Could you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so I was born with the disease and diagnosed at 2, and I went through 5 surgeries in Sanford, in Fargo, and Matt Cullen, a Wild player now, has this organization called Cully's Kids, and he can pick a family from the Fargo hospital and a family from the Minneapolis hospital. And I was lucky enough to be chosen for this trip to go on February 27th to the Wild against the Blues game.
So, just right before the game, what all happened there?
So I left the school at about 2 o'clock with my buddy Zach, and we went to the airport in Fargo, and we got to fly on the Bell Bank private jet down there. So we had the whole jet to ourselves. And yeah, when we were down there, we got to sit in the jet, and the pilot was super cool. On the way home, I got to fly in the cockpit.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, no kidding. And the pilot was really nice.
Well, very cool. Who'd you end up meeting there?
All of the Wild players, actually, after the game. And I got to meet the other family. We were sitting up in the suite, and we got to watch the game. We got to see the whole ice and everything.
Well, that's pretty sweet, actually. So, would you say the players are how you expected them to be, or was there anything different that stands out to you?
Not really what I had thought, really. They were really down to earth. I kind of thought they'd kind of be, the cool guys, but they were really talkative, and I had a conversation with most of them, and it was really awesome.
Well, that's pretty good. So, did they end up beating the Blues at the game?
Yeah, they won 8-3. Yeah, everybody was chanting against them, so it was kind of cool.
Oh, nice. That sounds like the perfect experience, man. All right, so Brady, what was your favorite part out of all of this?
Definitely watching the game before I met the players, because it seemed like every time we got over there, we scored, and we got to see a player score a hat trick, so we got to throw our hats onto the ice, and yeah.
Oh, nice. That sounds like it would be the most fun part. And what kind of food did you end up having?
We had kind of like a buffet style. We kind of had we had hot dogs and chicken and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, good deal. So not your average concession food.
No, this was kind of like VIP special stuff that we went down there and enjoyed.
Well, good deal. And just final question, who's your favorite player?
Don't tell Matt Cullen, but Devin Dubnyk.
Ooh. And any final thing you want to add, Brady?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Sanford and Fargo and Matt Cullen and the Cully's Kids Foundation. Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking your time to talk to us.
Yeah, anytime.
One of my memories from high school was in 8th grade when I cut my leg open on the tennis court playing football.
One of my favorite memories are just going to the wrestling room and just hanging out with everybody and just throwing each other around and having fun.
One of my favorite parts of high school is being in autos class and then buying a car for $2,000 and putting a little bit of work in it, and now it runs and drives every day.
My favorite senior memory is post-prom in general, but I've been told that the catwalk was very funny, so I'd have to say being hypnotized was fun too.
My favorite senior memory was making the super high mileage cars.
My favorite senior memory was going to prom this year for the full dance and post-prom, which I would recommend doing both junior and senior year, not just senior.
All right, some of my favorite memories, at least from KSS, were like being a part of the music and theater department there, and just getting to interact with everyone. And
my favorite memory from high school from going down to the ALC is our ropes course that we go to in the beginning of the year. You get to learn all the new students that come down to the ALC, and plus you get to have fun with all your old students.
Okay. My future plans are I'm going to go to NDSCS and do registered nursing.
Well, I plan on going to college after a year of building up money from my current job this year, and plan on going to NDSCS for robotics and welding.
For my future plans, I am planning on taking a year off and then going to school to be a real estate agent.
My future plans after high school is to attend SDSU for nursing.
I'm gonna go to M-State and do theater stuff for 2 years, and then I'm gonna leave this town.
NDSCS, get an automotive degree, and then hopefully become an engineer for it too.
My future plans are to work at Minnesota Motors as a full-time auto technician.
So what advice do you have for graduating seniors?
Okay, for the senior class, I got one question. Are you going to be a teacup or are you going to be a tea bag?
I have this memory of Pi Day in senior math refresher class, and we could bring pie-related items in, and so there are lots of thoughts about, you know, pie, what kind of pie can we bring? But my favorite memory is Dylan Strumman saying, can I bring pineapple?
A teacup, when it's got water in it, just lets the environment take the heat away from it and becomes what the environment is. But a tea bag, now that changes the system.
Do what you love, and I would say, try to figure out how to make a job out of it, get paid for it. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. My other piece of advice would be, connect with people. That's a big part of doing what you love and making a job out of it. And I'd say get this out of the way, because that's not about connecting with people. It's actually face to face. That'd be my advice. Yeah.
Well, it's been a little while since I've sent a senior off to college, but what I would like to say to them is whatever choices you make good ones. Be true to yourself. And if you are heading off to college, go to class. That's one of the hardest things to do because we're not there to pester you, but going to class is a good thing. And don't forget to call your mom.
Yes, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, just remember your roots, remember where you came from, do the right thing, and best of wishes for you.
My one piece of advice for the class of 2018 would be to take your time deciding what it is that you want to be in life, because you guys are going to live to be 100 years old, and from 18 until 22, the 4 years after high school, really isn't a ton of time to decide what you want to be forever. So, if you want to decide until you're 30, 33, possibly 40 to get that, your real job, that's totally okay, as long as you're not living in your parents' basement. Good luck.
Well, the best advice I can give them is to, enjoy the moments they have this last year, and then when they go off to college, work, or the military, make the most of it. And for some, they just got to know and make proper choices. Correct?
Yes. Do you have any favorite memories about this senior class?
I'd have to say the memory that comes to mind would be helping the senior boys come up with their dance for homecoming. I helped them with their choreography and get all organized, and I would have to say it was quite a success. Okay, the best advice that I have for you is to really focus on your relationships with other people and to make the most important people in your life a priority, and just do everything that you can to help other people out, because I think that is what is most rewarding in life.
How about you? Do you have any advice for the seniors?
Stay in school.
Finish the last, how many days?
A couple.
Yeah, we only got a couple of weeks. Stay in school, don't drop out.
Well, I guess the biggest thing I can do is give you advice, and one of the things is as you grow old is you need notes. So I have a note because I'm not as young as I once was. Number one, as you get older, keep reading. I always encourage people to read their whole lives. I remember back in 6th grade how Austin Stanislawski led the whole 6th grade in AR reading points that year. Austin, great job that year. Further your education. You might have to wait a year or two, some of you, if you don't know what you're doing. Find a job, but further your education. Trade schools, colleges are good. Further your education so that you can be a productive citizen. And the last one, enjoy your last 3 weeks in school. They go fast.
So what advice do you have for graduating seniors?
As you guys know that have had me, I got all kinds of advice. But just be yourself, enjoy life, don't cross that fun line.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. It's up to you, New York, New York.
And where are we, by the way?
It seems New Jersey.
Oh my God. Don't freak out. The plan can still happen.
Well, we lost our jobs.
And further notice, Hillary Clinton decided to adopt the baby aliens.
That's it, guys. I'm killing him. Hey. We'll bring him to the bar. Fired? Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry, but you can't be boring. It's over. So we hitchhiked until we came up with a plan.
We're going to the Big Apple to seek out the greatest news network we can find.
I think we'll be fine.
Is this thing on?
All right, Riff.
This is it. This is us live in New York City. So we're here at the audition. NBC-12 Today Show. We're here at the auditions for the Today Show where we will hopefully get the anchor job. Yes. This is it. Got fired from my last one. So. You were made for two things. Have salon quality hair and read the news. You're right.
Daily, so I'm excited. We're finishing season 3 of the show, and then I'm doing the Genius Junior game show at the same time. But when I get to come home and hang out with them, they make me laugh. Their laughs are infectious.
Let's talk Genius Junior for a second.
Did they say that's a wrap? That's a wrap. There's a P. Are we?
So our plan did hit a snag.
Was that the audition? I think we were supposed to. Oh. Did you have to have a talent ready? Might have had to. Darn it.
So it's not every day that you find yourself in New York. We have been working our tails off. And we decided to see the sights a little bit. And one thing you should know about New York is if you look hard enough on the ground, you will find Broadway tickets.
We also have Hamilton tickets. Or maybe it's The Wizard of Oz. Or Alice in Wonderland. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. All the plays are the same. Bottom line. A really funny play about green.
It was, she was not, you want to be careful.
This is so cool. Where's the entrance? Look at all the Hamilton merch. You have to turn from that. Hamilton!
Didn't really get it.
So, that is not what I thought Hamilton was about. I don't know where the Green Witch came from, first of all. It kind of, to me, it actually kind of seemed like The Wizard of Oz somehow, but I don't know what that's all about. That was a good play, kinda. A little long.
Nowhere in the play did it mention Alexander Hamilton. The flying monkeys were historically accurate, so that was good. But on to Plan B, I guess.
Please,
Freddie,
please,
we need our
give
jobs
us our
back.
jobs back.
New York was a terrible failure. We need our jobs back.
Please. New York.
We saw it play. No.
Hey, not yet. Not put that away. Are you kidding me?
Did you get your jacket?
No. Please, Freddie, please. We are nothing without reading the news.
Give me one reason why I should give you your jobs back.
Well, I mean, where are your precious anchors now?
Yeah, did they show up to work today?
They happened to not show up to work today. They didn't call in sick or anything.
Freddie, Honor Update airs in a few minutes, please.
You give us this one chance, Freddie, and we won't let you down.
One episode. One more.
Yes, that's all we need. We did it.
Oh, it's good to be back, Garth.
Yes, it is. We're home, Rip.
Oh my goodness. This is invigorating. I'm rushed with emotions right now. I have no idea what to feel. Oh.
You boys ready?
We're ready.
On the air in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, KSS. I'm your real and true host of Honor Update, Garth Holiday.
And I'm your other host, Rip Wilson, and let me tell you folks, it is good to be back reading the news to you beautiful people.
Oh, Rip, this just feels right. We're home.
It does.
Back in our old studio. We took a little bit of a break, vacation you could say. Some would say we got fired.
Naysayers.
But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, to kick off the second half of our show, we'll be talking about Godfather's Pizza. It's new in town, it's back, and does it have cheese? All good questions.
We will find that out in a little bit. Next, we'll take a look at some cheese curd varieties that we have around town. Dairyland, Dairy Queen, insert third restaurant.
Which one is better?
Which one is better? The age-old question. We'll find out from our field correspondents.
And next, we'll be talking about Mayor Ben Shire.
Benjamin Shire.
That is Benjamin
That's
Shire.
our mayor, Ben Shire.
And he'll be talking a little bit about the Kirkbride building and what's coming next with Summerfest. Where will it be?
Will there be food?
That could be.
These are questions, again, that we will find out in a little bit. Now to our field correspondents with the news.
Alright, senior reporter Jack Nelson here with
Mayor Ben Shire.
now. I just want to touch base on what's going on with RTC after we had talked earlier this year about it. Just give us a refresh of what had happened and then what the next step is within it.
Sure. So after we talked sometime earlier this spring, this late winter, spring, a developer stepped forward and showed interest in the east and west detached buildings, which kind of changed everything, to tell you the truth. So they put a plan, letter of intent to redevelop east and west detached, and as part of that development, they need a clear path to historic tax credits, which, not to get too far into the weeds, but in order for them to qualify for historic tax credits, that building must remain on the National Register of Historic Places. And so we kind of shifted our approach, worked with the state legislature to amend our request and reduce that from $8.9 million. And in an attempt to deconstruct everything other than the tower, we shifted that to say it's $3.5 million with a $500,000 cash holding cost. So right around $3.95 million was the final request, and that would be to do phase 2. So we broke it into 4 phases. Phase 1 is what's the deconstruction, the demolition that's going on now, and that's some of the non-historic buildings in the back. Phase 2 would be some of the buildings directly behind the Kirkbride, and then phase 3 and 4 were the wings and the connecting towers between the main tower and east and west attached. So basically, in a nutshell, what our current request to the state legislature would do, it would retain the tower, of course, like we always had, and also east and west attached buildings and the connecting wings. So basically, the entire horseshoe would remain in place, which would give a clear path forward for the historic tax credits. But it would also allow us to move forward with reducing the footprint of the campus by about 30% with phase 2. So it's a compromise where I think that everybody hopefully should be happy. We can continue to move forward, but we can maintain the most historic components of the campus.
So now that we're kind of on the subject about the RTC, so let's say we get a few years from now when all this is kind of over and through, what does that mean for the future of the RTC? Like, is it just going to sit there again, or do we have any plans with it?
Sure. So, great point, because we don't want to just, that's what this council has said that they're not going to do, is just wait around for something to happen. So, like I said, a developer step forward, and it's a process. They're going to need to get the historic tax credits. There's a few things that need to line up, but I will. So I don't like to talk too publicly about that because we've had developments come up in the past that haven't been successful, but I will say this, it's the most viable development opportunity we've had, and we're going to work towards that, and we'll know shortly whether that's going to move forward. But I believe that once we start to get something going up on that campus, then it'll trigger other things, and we'll see exactly how much of that campus we can save. But there will be a 5-year window in order to maintain the historic tax credits where the horseshoe would at least the horseshoe, and we're still negotiating that. So, I think you're exactly right, Jack. We need to get something going up there, not just wait around. Mm-hmm. We have to drive our own destiny, create our own future.
All right. And then we could also probably touch base on probably one of Fergus Falls' highlights of the year, which would be Summerfest right at the beginning of summer. And I've heard that there are some changes this year on it. If you just want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think there'll be some changes. I think there'll be the committee, Summerfest committee, of course, they do a great job, and as you mentioned, it's something that the community loves. It's been up at the Kirkbride grounds for the past several years, and that's going to continue. But we're also going to try to have a few things focus on downtown. So not only focus on Kirkbride, not only focus on downtown, but let's focus on both of them. And so this year the parade's going to go back to the old route that some of you guys probably will remember, starting on on South Oak Street, which is just west of Gate City Bank.
Yep.
And then it'll just go right down Lincoln Avenue, right through downtown. And so people will have a chance to gather down on our historic downtown Main Street and have a good parade. And then I believe, rumor has it, that there's some people trying to get some funds together for fireworks after the parade. So very cool. That would be an addition, something we haven't done in the past. But again, hoping just such a beautiful grounds up there for Summerfest. People enjoy it. But then afterwards, it's come downtown so we can support some of the downtown businesses that we have, and then have some fireworks somewhere. They're still discussing a location, and those plans are still in the works. But that one should be a nice addition to a great event.
All right, cool.
Don't I get to give a shout out to Doug, Reno, B, Leo, and Frank.
Okay, there we go. All right.
The best part about these pizzas are the little white tables they come with.
They went really good on the meat. It's got a good cheese and sauce ratio. A little greasy, but because of the flavor, I can forgive that. The true test is going to be the crust. Not bad. Crust ain't bad either.
So does that gas station look a lot different now then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it just like a little kiosk in there, or?
Yeah. Fancier Lakeway setup.
You don't go easy on the sausage.
I know, I love that. Well, I'm definitely happy to see that another Godfather's is there. Might be an express, but I missed their pizza.
I'd say it's a pizza you can't refuse.
My opinions on Godfather's Pizza? I'm really glad that they're back, because you can't get this much meat on another pizza in Fergus. I mean, honestly, this is my favorite pizza. Breakfast pizza wise, I hand it to Casey's, but every other pizza, it tops everybody. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this.
It's a pizza you can't refuse.
Time to rip into the dessert pizza. Looks good. Looks very good.
Well, it's not overwhelmingly sweet and sugary, but still, yeah.
I have to say this sausage is probably the best sausage I've ever had on a pizza. Come and visit us at the market. We have a large selection of candles, inspirational books, women's clothing, and also baby clothing. We also feature plenty of bright socks, a large selection of specialty foods, and soap. Plenty of soap. So come check us out at the market next to Cafe 116 in beautiful downtown Fergus Falls.
We got these from Service Food, and they aren't breaded, and they said to put them in the microwave.
Until they're squeaky!
Yeah, until they're squeaky, and now we're just really confused. Not a fan.
No, not at all.
No, these are not cheese curds. Service Food, you lied to us. What would you give it out of 5 stars?
Not even a 1.
0
Not
out
even
of
a
5.
1. It's so gross.
Service Food, you failed us. Alright.
Look all nice.
Take 2 from Dairyland. Hopefully these taste better than the Service Food.
Well, yeah, they actually have bread on them.
Yeah, I feel like we did the other ones wrong, but that's okay. Ready?
Oh, yes.
So much better.
These are so good. The last ones were really like oily from the cheese. These are like, they're greasy, but they're not too greasy.
What would you give this out of 5 stars?
Out of 5 stars? 4.
Me too.
Maybe a 5.
I'll go 4.5. We'll
There
see
we
if
go.
someplace else beats this, but these are really good. Take 3 from Walmart.
They were a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, these are like $2 and the others are $5-6.
Ew, they're cheddar. The yellow cheddar. Ugh. That's wrong. That's a sin. I don't
Not
like
a
them.
huge fan. I give them like a 2.5 out of 5.
Give them like a 2.
DQ.
Oh. They're good.
They're really good. I'd say I like Dairyland better though. Just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Dairyland was homemade, so it tasted different. This
Yeah.
is more fast food.
Dairyland had more flavor, but this is definitely better than the other 2 we've tried so far.
Yeah.
I give it like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. I think Dairyland was 5 out of 5. DQ is 4 out of 5.
Now we're on to the bowling alley.
Oh, they're really cheesy.
They're also really hot.
They're more like mozzarella sticks. It's good. I think I like the DQ ones better.
These are more crunchy. And these are more soft. I give these 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd do like 3.5.
So my list goes Dairyland, Dairy Queen, Bowling Alley, Walmart, Service Food.
Definitely.
There you go. Now you know. Dairyland's the best.
Oh yeah.
Well, KSS, as we're winding down our last and final otter update, we just want to say it has been an honor to read you the news. And Garth, it's been an honor sitting beside you here, reading the news right in the studio.
It's been the greatest pleasure of a lifetime, my friend, to be part of the duo that has been called by many the greatest Otter Update anchors of all time. And I think that's a fact.
I've heard many people say it.
My mother said it. I have said it multiple times in the mirror.
Yep.
I would also like to put on the record that we have no idea where the other anchors went. We have no part in that. So don't even ask about it.
Yep. Not once.
And we were never fired.
Yes.
Not one time.
Well, as we wrap up, we will leave you with some student projects.
Something special. Those student projects are something special.
Very special. Well, this is Rip and Garth signing off for the last time.
Stay classy, KSS.
You're disgusting.
Lay me on an anvil, O God. Beat me and hammer me into a crowbar. Let me pry loose old walls. Let me lift and loosen old foundations. Lay me on an anvil, O God. Beat me and hammer me into a steel pike. Drive me into the girders that hold a skyscraper together. Take red, hot rivets and fasten me into the central girders. Let me be the great nail holding a skyscraper through blue nights into white stars. Prayers of Steel by Carl Sandburg.
To the town of Owafreel rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead, and he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the Ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome Ranger was about to meet his death, about to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped, and the Ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron, when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
told me, babe, that someday these will be the good